America equals a bag filled with holes. A bag filled with holes equals America. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last seconds of time. Kwam Yashala, Mighty Shalom. And this lesson is entitled, America equals a bag filled with holes. Ultimately inspired by this post, which reads from the financenewsletter.com, a $400,000 mortgage is $2,500 per month today. A $400,000 mortgage was $1,500 per month in 2021. $1,000 more a month for the same house. Wow. And ultimately the word mortgage ultimately means a debt pledge. And that's ultimately the reality of America. So America is indeed a bag filled with holes. This is Haggai chapter 1 verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. And that's the reality of America. There's a statistic out there that says the average person doesn't have $500 in their account in case of an emergency. And we're entering into this high holy day, the Day of Atonement 2025, which is this evening, until tomorrow evening, which is a day of afflicting of the soul and remembrance of ultimately our greatest atonement or reconciliation, which is in Yahweh Shai. And ahead of this, we have a looming government shutdown, inflation, mass resignations. So what does this all mean for America, which means bitter? America is a bag filled with holes. Haggai 1:6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Once again, another harsh reality. The scriptures say a measure of wheat for a penny, a loaf of bread for a full day's work. And that's ultimately what the society is going to go into. And this is just an example of ultimately the looming inflation of this place, man. A $400,000 mortgage is $2,500 per month today. A $400,000 mortgage was $1,500 just 4 years ago. So the average mortgage has increased by $1,000 just in 4 years. But that's ultimately inflation. But ultimately it's been done through gradualism, because guess what? It's the analogy of the frog in a boiling pot. If you got a frog in a boiling pot, he's going to jump out of that boiling pot once you place him in. But if you place a frog, in just a pot of water and you gradually turn up the temperature, that frog is not going to be aware that he's in that boiling pot until he's boiling. And that's ultimately the reality of this American economy. Haggai 1:6 again. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. And the grinders cease because they be few. There shall be no work in Egypt. And all those things, and like the scriptures say also, measure wheat for a penny, inflation, all those things have hit America with deep blows, man, and deep woes. Looking for this precept, bear with me. This is Revelation chapter 6 verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. And this is going into inflation, because that word penny is going into the Roman coin, which goes into 10, and it's pretty much describing inflation and something being regular price one day, and then you go back the next day and it'd be 10 times that. So just imagine something, in a store that's $5 Okay, a loaf of bread, $5, and then you go back in the store, and that day, in that time of trouble, and that same loaf of bread be $50, $100. So what is that going to do to the comfortability of this society? All right, it's going to go out the window. So it says a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine, which is this word, which is this truth, man. All right, and I'm going to read that in the NLT. It says, and I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. And don't waste the olive oil and wine. So a loaf, all right, of bread is going to cost a full day's pay. So just imagine you go to work, all right, and the average person makes what? Let's say you make $15 an hour. All right, you work 8 hours a day. That's what, 15, 30, 45, 60 times 2 is what, $120. So let's just say you went back into the store and that same loaf of bread cost $120. All right, that's what that penny goes into. Let me just get it real quick. All right, because America is that place, all right, that's likened unto a bag filled with holes. That's the reality of this society. People work themselves into a grave with nothing to show for it. All right. Denarium.
Strong's G 1220.
Denarion. Strong's G 1220. Denarion. It says denarius containing 10. It says a Roman silver coin in New Testament time. It took its name from it being equal to 10 asses. A number after 217 BC increased to 16. It was the principal coin, silver coin of the Roman Empire. From the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. Ooh, and that's heavy because that's inflation, man. All right, a measure of wheat for a penny. All right, he that earned a wages earned it into a bag with holes. All right, there should be no work in Egypt. The grinders are ceasing. It's the song that the Lord is singing of great judgment on Babylon the Great America. All right. So just imagine you working for a whole entire day, and that day was used to buy a bar of soap. All right. That's going to drive the comfortability of the society out of the window. So America equals a bag filled with holes. Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harachak Wadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings until next time. Kwam Yashala, Mighty Shalom.